Hello and Assalamu alaikum. In today's lecture, we'll be covering some of the distinguishing features of Islamic economic system. Uh, Now, Islamic economic system is based on certain principles which are defined in Islamic Sharia. So, those principles make it an economic system that stand out from the rest of the economic system. So, let's talk about what Islamic economic system is. It is basically defined in the Islamic Sharia, and Islam is a religion which guided followers in every walk of life. So basically, Islam has certain beliefs, and then it has certain actions. So the beliefs have to be backed by certain actions, and those actions are that they fall in the category of amal, which are actions. These actions, some of these actions are related to the rituals or ibadat, and then certain actions are prescribed or defined as far as the relationship with the people living in the society is concerned. So these fall in the category of muamalat, dealing with the people. Now, some of the muamalat, they fall in the category of political muamalat or political dealings. Once someone has the authority, how to exercise that authority, these are defined in Islamic Sharia. Similarly, certain dealings are defined once someone is living in a society, when he's part of a society as a father, as a son, as a husband, as a wife. So, what are some of the requirements and some of the actions which a person is supposed to adopt once he's following an Islamic way of life? And the third category of muamalat is economic. Here, the principles of economics are defined, which we'll be discussing today. So these are some of the distinguishing features that you can see on this slide. First one is achievement of Falah. We'll talk about the concept of Falah, moderation in economic activities, Islamic concept of ownership of wealth and property, prohibited economic activities, system of compulsory and optional charity, which is zakat and sadaqat, and responsibility of state towards its citizen as defined in Islamic Sharia. So let's talk about the concept of Falah. Falah is the literal meaning of Falah is success, but it is success in both the lives. As Islamic belief as is that there is a life after this life, like this life is a temporary or it is a test for which we have been sent in this world, an actual life in which there will be the decision for pass and failure. It will be in the next life. So achievement is basically best of both the worlds. Now, the objective of Islamic economics is to ensure this falah, that the followers of Islamic economic system, they get their needs fulfilled in this life as well, and by following Islamic teachings, they can also get success in the life hereafter as well. So objective of Islamic economic is different from the other economic systems. Another thing that is emphasized in Islam is the moderation in economic activities. Now, as far as the economic activities are concerned, we come across two extremes. One is monasticism and the other is materialism. Monasticism is where a person gave up all sort of economic activities and he live just like any other animal, where he has this belief that all the needs will be fulfilled by the creator. So so a person has no need to take any economic activity. The other extreme is materialism, where a person make this earning of wealth as his sole objective in the life, like the sole criteria for success. It becomes materialistic approach that the person who has you know maximum material things, he's the most successful person. So materialistic approach is that a person, he put all his efforts just to gain the material gains, and he ignore all other aspects, whether it is humanity or welfare. All these aspects are ignored in this materialism approach. Now, moderation is somewhere in between. Islamic economic, Islam promote or encourages the followers to take economic activities, but at the same time, it tells the followers or the Muslims that economics Our economic well-being is not the sole purpose of the life. So moderation in economic activities is something which is encouraged in Islam. Uh, Islam has a unique concept of ownership of wealth and property. First of all, as a Muslim, one has to have this belief that whatever wealth he has, it is given to him by the Almighty Creator, Allah, and he has to use it according to what Allah has dictated him to do. Now, there is no limit on the accumulation of wealth and property in Islam. Like there is no upper cap that is defined that you cannot have wealth beyond that point. So Islam allows the ownership of private ownership of property and wealth, but Islam dictates certain do's and don'ts for that. Now, for earning, Islam has dictated certain rules that you can earn in a certain way and you cannot earn in certain other ways. For example, the halal means or lawful means are defined through which you can earn, like trading, like agriculture. These are some of the halal means through which you can earn. And then there are certain unlawful means which are called haram means, which you can see on this slide, starting with interest on loans, which is riba. Then we have gambling. It is not allowed in Islam. Any income from adultery and pornography is not allowed. Any profit earned through hoarding, it is not allowed in Islam. Money earned through stealing, money earned through fraud and misrepresentation, sale of alcohol and poor graded products is not allowed. Money earned through magic and fortune telling is not allowed. So these are some of the don'ts of earning as far as the Islamic theory is concerned. Looking at the spending, Islam also dictate its followers that wealth can be spent in certain ways and it cannot be spent on certain items. For example, Islam recommends to spend the wealth on your own needs, on the needs of your family, friends, and relatives. Also, Islam encourages to give charity, which is sadaqah. Zakat is one of the five pillars of Islam. It is compulsory charity, which is it becomes due on a person having certain level of wealth. Then there is compulsory sacrifice, which is qurbani, that is done once in a year, but it is obligatory on Muslims having certain level of wealth. And similarly, Hajj is one of the five pillars of Islam, which is compulsory for the Muslims having who fulfill certain conditions as defined in Islam. Then we look at the don'ts of spending. Islam does not allow spending on alcohol. It does not allow spending on gambling. No spending on adultery and pornography. And similarly, Islam discourages extravagance, that one cannot spend money or waste money. So these are some of the don'ts of spending. Similarly, if we look at the Islamic concept of ownership of wealth and property, Islam is different from other major religions, from other major economic systems. Capitalism, for example, affirms an absolute and unconditional right to private property, and the slogan of capitalism is freedom, free market economy. Socialism, on the other hand, denies the right of private property with the exception of ownership of articles of personal use. And the slogan for socialism is equality, whereas Islamic economic system admits the right of private property but does not consider it to be an absolute and unconditional right. Islam defines do's and don'ts governing this right of ownership of property, and the slogan of Islamic economic system is moderation. Another, distinguishing feature of Islamic economic system is the system of charity. This charity is of two types. One is the compulsory charity, which is zakat, and the other is optional charity, which is sadaqah. Zakat is a compulsory monetary contribution imposed on Muslims who have a certain amount of savings over and above their needs, whereas sadaqat are optional monetary contribution to help any human being in distress and need. By enjoining upon the rich and wealthy to pay zakat and spend for their poor parents, relatives, orphans, and needy, Islam lays the foundation of fellow feeling, brotherhood, friendship, and love among the members of Muslim Ummah. In the end, we'll talk about some of the responsibilities of an Islamic State. It is the obligation of the Islamic State to provide the basic needs, which include clothing, shelter, and food. The Islamic State, being vicegerent of God, is duty bound to fulfill this purpose of God and provide the basic needs to its poor citizens. The Islamic economic system ensures the provision of basic needs to every needy person through its comprehensive system of social security. Basically, the system of establishment of Baitul Mal to ensure the fulfillment of the needs of poor and deprived citizens of Islamic State. Now, these are some of the distinguishing features that we covered in this lecture. I hope this helped you as a student of Islamic economics to understand and distinguish Islamic economics from other economic systems that are prevalent in the world. If you find this lecture useful, feel free to like it and share it with your family and friends. Thank you very much.